Right then, listen up, because what I'm about to tell you could save you thousands of dollars. Tens of thousands, in fact. You've done your research. You've read the reviews. You've test-driven the thing. And on paper, the car looks solid. Good MPG, nice warranty, decent resale value, at least for the first couple of years. But here's the deal. There are cars on American roads right now that look perfectly fine at 40,000 miles, look acceptable at 50,000 miles, and then absolutely fall apart the moment they hit 60,000. And we're not talking about one or two rattles. We're talking about bills from the dealership that'll make your jaw drop. Repair quotes that'll make you question every single decision you've ever made. 7 cars, all sold right here in the USA. All popular, all sitting in driveways from Seattle to Miami. And every single one of them has a financial time bomb ticking under the hood. If you haven't subscribed yet, do it now, because we put out content like this every single week. And stick around, because number 4 on this list is a car that almost every guy in his 40s has seriously considered buying. You're going to want to hear this. Let's get into it. Nissan Altima. Right. Let's start with one of the most popular sedans in the entire country, the Nissan Altima. Walk into any parking lot in Charlotte, in Indianapolis, in Kansas City. You'll see 3 of them before you even get to your car. It's everywhere, and for good reason. It's affordable up front, it looks sharp, and it comes loaded with features that would have cost you twice the price a decade ago. But here's the thing. The Altima has a dirty little secret, and it's sitting right in the powertrain. The CVT, the continuously variable transmission. Nissan has been fitting this unit to the Altima for years now. And the post-2021 generation still carries it. And while Nissan will tell you they've improved it, the failure pattern tells a very different story. I spoke to a transmission specialist in Phoenix who deals with these every single week. His words, at 60,000 to 70,000 miles, we start seeing shuddering, slipping, and in some cases, complete failure. The replacement cost on one of these units is between $3,500 and $4,500 parts and labor. Sometimes more if the damage has spread. $4,000 on a car that you bought because it was the sensible, affordable choice. And here's what makes it worse. These failures are often not covered under the powertrain warranty if you've missed even one service interval, one missed oil change in the records, and you're on your own. An Altima owner in Atlanta bought his 2023 model with 12,000 miles on it, used, thinking he'd gotten a great deal. By 68,000 miles, the transmission was slipping at highway speeds on I-85. The dealers quote, $4,200, and they told him to his face it wasn't covered. I thought I was being smart buying a reliable Japanese car, he told me. Nobody warned me about the CVT. The Altima sells in enormous numbers across the Southeast, the Midwest, the Sun Belt. It looks like a bargain. At 60,000 miles, it stops being one. Jeep Grand Cherokee. Here's the deal. The Grand Cherokee is an American icon. It's aspirational. It's rugged. It looks the part sitting in the driveway of a house in the suburbs of Denver or outside a ranch in San Antonio. And the 2022 redesign genuinely made it better looking and more premium than it had any right to be. But premium looking and premium behaving are two very different things. The 4th generation Grand Cherokee, specifically the 2022 and 2023 non-L models with the 3.6-liter V6, has been generating a worrying number of complaints around the 60,000-mile mark. We're talking about electrical gremlins, infotainment failures, and in some documented cases, issues with the air suspension system that costs a fortune to put right. An air suspension compressor failure on a Grand Cherokee can set you back anywhere from $800 on the cheap end to over $2,000 at a dealership. And that's assuming the problem stops there. I spoke to a mechanic in Houston who specializes in Stellantis products. He said, the 2022 Grand Cherokee came with a lot of new technology and a lot of new complexity. When the warranty ends and these systems start failing, the repair bills are brutal. We see them regularly now. And let's talk about the warranty ending. The standard 5-year, 60,000-mile powertrain warranty on Jeep products sounds reassuring until you realize that 60,000 miles is exactly when these problems tend to show up. And if you're a high-mileage driver, commuting in the Midwest, doing long highway runs in Texas, you're going to hit that mileage mark faster than you think. A Grand Cherokee owner in Nashville hit 62,000 miles last spring and found himself staring at a $1,900 bill for an air suspension failure that the dealer told him was wear and tear, right at the edge of warranty, right in the kill zone. Buy the Grand Cherokee if you want. It's a great-looking machine. Just know what's waiting for you at mile 60,001. Volkswagen Atlas. Right then. This one's going to upset some people. The VW Atlas is one of the most popular three-row SUVs in the entire country. Families in the Pacific Northwest love it. Suburban parents in the Midwest swear by it. It fits 7 people, it looks European, and it feels genuinely premium in a way that something like the Toyota Highlander simply doesn't. But German engineering comes with German repair bills, and the Atlas, despite being built in Chattanooga, Tennessee, is no exception. The 2.0-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder in the Atlas, which is the engine in the base and mid-spec models, is not a weak unit, but it is a complex one. And when the DSG dual-clutch transmission that's paired to it starts developing issues, you're in expensive territory very fast. DSG services alone, fluid changes, mechatronic unit inspection, run to $400, $500 at a VW dealer. If the mechatronic unit fails outright, which is documented in the Atlas community online, you're looking at between $1,800 and $3,000 depending on where you live. In California, add another 20% to those numbers. A car finance analyst in Chicago put it to me plainly: the Atlas is priced competitively against the Highlander and the Pilot, but the cost of ownership past 60,000 miles is dramatically higher. People don't factor that in at the point of purchase. And the oil consumption issue. The 2.0T in certain Atlas configurations has shown a pattern of elevated oil consumption that, left unchecked, leads to long-term engine wear. VW has issued technical service bulletins but no formal recall, which means if you're not checking your oil between services, and most people aren't, you're quietly damaging your engine 1 mile at a time. An Atlas owner in Portland bought his in 2022, clocked 61,000 miles by late 2024, and found himself dealing with a DSG judder at low speeds and a mechatronic unit quote from his VW dealer that almost made him sell the thing on the spot. Beautiful SUV. Buy it with eyes wide open. Ram 1500. Stop. Listen to this carefully. We're halfway through this list, and I need you to pay attention to this one, because this is the one that's going to surprise you the most. The Ram 1500 is the second best-selling truck in the entire United States. Millions of them on the road. Millions more being sold right now at dealerships from Texas to Michigan. It's a beautiful machine. Genuinely the most luxurious-feeling pickup truck you can buy at its price point, with an interior that embarrasses some premium SUVs. The e-Torque mild hybrid system, offered on both the V6 and V8, is what Ram uses to improve fuel economy and add a little extra torque off the line. And it works. The numbers look good on the window sticker. But here's the kicker. That e-Torque system is a 48-volt mild hybrid setup with a belt-integrated starter generator and a separate lithium-ion battery pack. And when any component of that system fails, and they do fail, the repair costs are significant. A Ram specialist in Dallas told me this: the e-Torque battery pack on these trucks is not cheap to replace. We're talking $1,200 to $1,800 for the battery unit alone, and that's before labor. And the belt-integrated generator, if that goes, you're looking at another $600 to $900 on top. $2,000 potentially on a system that most Ram 1500 buyers didn't fully understand they were getting. And let's be clear, the e-Torque is not a plug-in hybrid. This is not an EV concern. This is a standard gasoline truck with an additional electrical system layered on top that adds complexity and cost. At 60,000 miles, when the factory warranty has lapsed on many components, that complexity starts costing real money. Beyond the e-Torque, the Ram 1500 with the air suspension, which is a popular option, is carrying another expensive liability. Air suspension repairs on these trucks at 70,000 to 80,000 miles average $800 to $1,500 per corner. 4 corners. Do the math. A Ram 1500 owner in Houston, big V8, air suspension, the full setup, told me he bought his truck for $58,000. By 65,000 miles, he'd spent over $4,000 in non-routine repairs, including an e-Torque battery and a rear air suspension corner. I love the truck, he said, but I did not see those bills coming. If you own a Ram 1500 e-Torque, smash that like button right now, because I guarantee you've either seen this already or you're about to. We've got 3 more cars on this list, and every single one of them is popular, widely loved, and quietly draining bank accounts all over the country. Don't go anywhere. BMW X5. Right. For the guys who went a little more premium, the BMW X5 is one of the best SUVs on the planet. The driving dynamics, the interior quality, the engine options, the xDrive 40i is a genuinely wonderful machine. If you bought one, you made a decision with your heart, and I completely understand it. But BMWs are expensive to own past the warranty period. That is not a secret. What is less well known is exactly when and how the X5 starts showing its costs. The 3.0-liter turbocharged inline-six in the current X5, the B58 engine, is actually one of the more reliable modern BMW units. That's the good news. The bad news is that everything around it is complex and expensive. The cooling system. The water pump on the B58 equipped X5 is electric, which is more efficient but also more failure-prone than a mechanical unit. Electric water pump failures on X5s are documented at 60,000 to 80,000 miles with regularity. Replacement cost at a BMW dealer in Los Angeles, between $900 and $1,400 parts and labor. In New York, higher. The air suspension again rears its head. BMW's adaptive air suspension on the X5 is brilliant when it works. When a corner fails, and corner failures are common in X5s over 60,000 miles, you're looking at $1,200 to $2,000 per corner. And it never fails on just one side. It's a domino. I spoke to a BMW specialist in Philadelphia. He told me, the X5 is a remarkable vehicle, but our clients who didn't buy an extended warranty and hit 65,000, 70,000 miles, they're getting invoices that genuinely shock them. Oil separators, water pumps, air suspension, it adds up fast. An X5 owner in Minneapolis drove his 2022 model hard through 2 Midwest winters. By miles 67,000, he had a water pump failure, a valve cover gasket seep, and an air suspension warning light. Total repairs, over $3,000 in one visit. If you buy an X5, budget for an extended warranty. It's not optional, it's financial self-defense. Chevrolet Colorado. Here's the thing about the new Colorado. GM genuinely knocked it out of the park with the third generation. It looks better, it drives better, it's more refined than it has any right to be for a mid-size truck. And at a time when full-size trucks are pushing $60,000 and beyond, the Colorado looks like a smart, sensible alternative. It sold in enormous numbers out of the gate. Dealerships in Texas and Georgia in the Pacific Northwest couldn't keep them on lots. But here's what's emerging in the owner community now that these trucks are approaching and passing the 60,000-mile mark. The turbocharged 2.7-liter four-cylinder, available in 151 horsepower and 310 horsepower configurations, is the engine that most buyers are getting. And the turbocharger itself is generating concern, specifically turbo wastegate rattle, and, in some documented cases, more significant turbo wear that's presenting earlier than expected. A turbo replacement on a Colorado at a Chevy dealer is not cheap. We're talking $1,500 to $2,500 depending on labor time and parts pricing in your area. In California, at a union shop, that number goes north fast. There's also the 8-speed automatic transmission, a perfectly good unit, but one that requires precise fluid service intervals to stay healthy. In the real world, a significant number of Colorado owners are stretching those intervals. The consequences show up at 60,000 miles in the form of shudder, hesitation, and eventual degradation. I spoke to a Chevy specialist in Atlanta who said, the new Colorado is genuinely impressive, but the turbocharged four-cylinder is working hard every time someone tows with it, which most truck buyers do. And when you combine that with stretched service intervals, the wear pattern accelerates. A Colorado owner in Jacksonville bought his for just under $40,000 in early 2023. By late 2024, with heavy use on construction sites and some weekend towing, he was at 61,000 miles and looking at a turbo replacement quote that put him firmly underwater compared to what he thought the truck would cost to own. The Colorado is a great truck. Follow the service schedule. Don't skip the transmission fluid. And if you're towing regularly, check that turbo more often than the manual suggests. Cadillac XT5. And we end with the one that might be the most frustrating of all 7. The Cadillac XT5 is aspirational. It's what a lot of Americans buy when they want something premium but don't want to commit to a German badge. It's polished. It's comfortable. It's got the right logo on the hood. And for the money, particularly at the lower trim levels, it looks like exceptional value against a BMW X3 or a Mercedes GLC. At 60,000 miles, that value proposition starts to look a lot less clear. The XT5 uses a turbocharged 2.0-liter four-cylinder in its base configuration, and while the engine itself is not a disaster, the 8-speed automatic transmission paired to it has been generating a consistent pattern of complaints in the 55,000 to 70,000 mile window, specifically rough shifts, hesitation on acceleration, and in some cases, formal failure requiring partial or full rebuild. A transmission rebuild on an XT5 at a Cadillac dealer, because Cadillac owners are often understandably reluctant to take their car anywhere else, runs from $2,500 to $4,000 depending on the extent of the damage. But the transmission isn't even the only story. The infotainment and electrical architecture on the XT5 has attracted a significant number of complaints. Screen freezes, Bluetooth dropouts, and camera failures are common enough to be a known pattern. These aren't catastrophic. They won't leave you stranded, but each individual fix costs money. A camera replacement, a module reboot, an infotainment unit replacement. The bills are modest individually. They stack. A mechanic in St. Louis who works on domestic premium brands put it to me this way. The XT5 is a car that looks and feels like it should be bulletproof, but it's got the soul of a Chevy Equinox underneath the Cadillac suit. And Equinox owners past 60,000 miles know exactly what that means. An XT5 owner in Las Vegas told me he bought his pre-owned at 38,000 miles, thinking the previous owner had taken the depreciation hit and he was getting the value. By 64,000 miles, he'd had the infotainment unit replaced under an extended warranty, which he had the foresight to buy, and was now watching the transmission for signs of the shudder he'd read about in forums. "I love driving it," he said. "I just don't love the uncertainty." That uncertainty. That's the word that describes all 7 cars on this list. Not lemons, not disasters, just cars where past 60,000 miles, the question mark over what's coming next is a lot bigger than the sticker price ever suggested. Right then, let's recap. 7 cars that will drain your bank account after 60,000 miles. Number 1, the Nissan Altima. CVT failures at 60,000 to 70,000 miles. Replacement cost between $3,500 and $4,500. It's everywhere, and it's quietly expensive. Number 2, the Jeep Grand Cherokee. Electrical gremlins and air suspension failures landing right at the warranty boundary. Up to $2,000 per repair at the worst possible time. Number 3, the Volkswagen Atlas. DSG transmission complexity and potential mechatronic unit failure. Premium look, premium repair costs. $1,800 to $3,000 when it goes wrong. Number 4, the Ram 1500 e-Torque. The most popular truck in its class, carrying a mild hybrid system that most buyers don't fully understand. When it fails, the bills are significant, and the air suspension adds another layer of financial risk on top. Number 5, the BMW X5. Electric water pump, air suspension, and a list of wear items that are genuinely expensive at a BMW dealer. Beautiful machine? Budget aggressively for post-warranty maintenance. Number 6, the Chevrolet Colorado. A great mid-sized truck undermined by turbocharger wear, under-towing conditions, and transmission issues driven by stretched service intervals. Stick to the schedule or pay the price. And number 7, the Cadillac XT5. Transmission shudder and electrical complexity hiding under a premium badge. The soul of a mass-market vehicle wearing a luxury suit. Now look, none of these cars is a write-off. Every single one of them can be a perfectly good vehicle with the right ownership approach, regular servicing, an extended warranty where it makes sense, awareness of the specific weak points before you buy. But awareness is the key word. Too many Americans are walking into dealerships, buying these cars without knowing what's coming, and then feeling blindsided when the bills arrive. That's what this channel is about. Giving you the information before you sign, not after. So here's my question for the comments today. Have you owned any of these 7 cars? Did you hit the 60,000 mile wall? What was the bill? And did the dealership help you or leave you hanging? Drop it below. I read every single comment, and your real-world experience helps everyone watching this. If this video was useful, hit that subscribe button right now. We put out content like this every week, and the next one is going to cover something that every single truck owner in the Midwest needs to hear. You will not want to miss it. See you next time. Cheers.